is
Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy, car enthusiast, and Dave's fiance, Dustin, reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake, environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are Inside Movies Galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Inside Movies Galore. I am one of your hosts, but we are continuing Tammy's theme on totally awesome 80s. And from what I gather, this week's choice was brought to us in part by our good friend Jake. So, Jake, why don't you tell us what film you subjected us to this week?
Yes, because there are no cats in America.
And the streets are made of cheese.
Spoiler alert, there are actually cats in America. So we will be discussing the 1986 Don Bluth film, An American Tail, an Amblin Pictures Steven Spielberg production, with scoring by James Horner. And I swear, when I chose this, I had no idea I'd be directly following an Amblin production with Steven Spielberg producing and James Horner doing the music. And I didn't realize that Tammy had chosen a Don Bluth film featuring Philip Glaser and Dom DeLuise for last month's selection. So I ended up playing off of two of Tammy's movies in a row with this one. That's kind of fun. That's the way it turned out. But unlike The Troll in Central Park and apparently Batteries Not Included, this is one I do have a history with. But anyway, IMDb describes it as, while emigrating to the United States, a young Russian mouse gets separated from his family and must locate them while trying to survive in a new country. Like I said, directed by Don Bluth, written by Judy Freudberg, Tony Gase, and David Kirshner. Stars Philip Glaser as a first-time actor, I believe, as the young Moskowitz. Dom DeLuise as Tiger, John Finnegan as Warren T. Rat, Amy Green, Erica Young, and Nehemiah Persoff as Fievel's family, the Moskowitzes. Christopher Plummer as Henri, Neil Ross as Honest John, and Madeline Kahn as Gussie Malsheimer, among others. And it, like I said, score by James Horner, a almost chart-topping single somewhere out there by Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram in the radio version. Oscar nominated for that. So some pretty fun pedigree to this one. But let's go ahead and get first impressions. And Tammy, did you get your audio fixed? Are you with us? That was very quiet. I'm going to take that as a no.
She is many, many moons away.
Well, I mean,
Babe, why don't you come into the bedroom then with me? Or unless you want me to come out there.
All right. Well, while y'all are sorting that, I guess we'll go ahead and let you go first, Brandon. Is this your first time with this movie, and what were your thoughts on it?
No, though, I thought I'd watched I noticed that my old copy, I actually went ahead and used this as an excuse to upgrade. And I thought I'd watched both copies, but I realized that I hadn't even opened my double feature copy that had this on it with Five Goes West. I actually want to say I probably haven't seen this since I was a child. I was actually 7 when this came out. So I was definitely in the demographic when this came out. And I don't think I saw this. I don't think I saw this when I was a kid. And the reason why I don't think I saw this in theaters, but I do remember all the hype coming out around it. Because it was everywhere when it came out. It was in Happy Meals and all that stuff. The first time I actually remember seeing it was, I don't know if anybody else's school did this, but on a day like when we had, it was closer to a holiday, or we had managed to catch up with all the needed work for school, they would wheel in the TV card with the VCR and sometimes put on a movie. And I'm pretty sure that was how I first saw this film. I could be wrong. I may have watched it in the theater, but I don't think I did. I think that was the first time watching the film. I think I may have seen it at least one more time in between. No, that is a big maybe. But I remember, of course, Somewhere Out There was all over the radio and stuff like that. So I can't say that being familiar with that song means much. But I also remember the There Are No Cats in America one. But the reason why I think I haven't watched it for so long is because my memory of the song and everything is kind of blurry, where I can't really remember the lyrics. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the chorus, but I felt like the chorus was more robust than it was. Yet I do remember how the kids sounded singing Somewhere Out There. And of course, we also sang Somewhere Out There for choral competition in 7th grade. So that's also there as well. So it's one of those things that's just kind of garbled in the timeline of my memories. But considering how little I actually remembered of it and how much I did remember, I could say I've remembered enough to know that I have seen this before, but I didn't remember enough to know that it has been many, many, many years. Probably not since the late 80s, early 90s. Which is different because I think I saw Five Goes West when it debuted on TV. And I was probably about 12 or 13 when that happened. And I think I saw it more out of amusement because I was familiar with the source material. But yeah, that's mine. I mean, watching it this time, you can tell the Don Bluth style. You can see a lot of Secret of Nim in this film.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely doesn't feel as youth oriented as a Troll in Central Park.
Right.
It is still youth oriented. It's still a kids film, but you could tell there's a lot of stuff they threw in there that was for the adults to understand. A lot of the allegories, a lot of the stuff there that kids were not going to get. And I do find that very interesting. So I think at the end of the day, this was an excellent film, and one I was glad to revisit because it's there. I think I'm pretty sure I have not seen this in a while.
All right. That about wrap it up?
Yep, that's about all I got to say
Okay.
about that.
All right. Well, how about you, Dave? Is this your first time with this film, and what are your thoughts?
Oh no, it's definitely not my first time with the film. No, I didn't see it in the theater, but for many for many years we had it taped, but then we actually did have it for real on VHS, and then I didn't get it on DVD until just recently. I thought I had gotten it years ago, at least with a double feature of Five Full Coast West, but I was dead wrong. So I ended up getting it on Amazon's day venture over the weekend while I was at my folks' place, and when I got here, I arrived, and shortly after I arrived, it showed up. So glad that I was there to receive it. So,
Right.
especially since they just ding dong ditched us. Oh well, they basically rang the bell and left it on our doorstep outside, so that any five-finger discount could get it. But glad I could get it.
Yes, it's good.
So, but anyways, I remember watching this on repeat. I loved the songs, although I'd forgotten some of them because had been quite some time since I've actually seen the movie. Last time I probably saw it was maybe when I was like maybe 8 or 9. But I know we watched it on repeat several times, so I can't say how many times that I saw it. But as soon as the never say never say never came out, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one. And then and then I knew word for word the there are no cats in America, and by that time Tammy looked at me and was like, I can tell you've seen this before, haven't you? So
Nice.
but yeah, it was a nostalgic moment for me to watch this one, and we continued and watched the second one because might as well, so
Yep.
but both of them had was nostalgic for me because whereas Brandon said he might have seen the first one in the theater or in a theater of some sort. I saw the second one in Mill Road Theater, which I believe by the time I was a teenager, they had closed down that theater. And it was like in a strip mall of some sort. But I remember going to it. So, as young as I was maybe 6 or 7.
Okay.
Well, we have one thing in common, Dave. That was probably about. I was probably about the same age when I first saw the film.
Well, I saw the second one,
Oh.
so in the theater. So that we were about the same age, seeing the different films. So
A different era.
yes. So, but I enjoy this one for what it is. It's kind of a pilgrimage. I thought it was kind of strange that Fievel's favorite book was the Brothers Karamazov, which is
Or
it's a
mouse
very
calls, I
dark
believe.
novel, very
Right.
dark and depressing novel. But Dostoev is. I guess since they were from Russia, might as well.
Right.
Tiger's favorite book too.
Yeah, evidently.
Right.
Yeah, could have been worse. Could have said War and Peace.
Yeah, right.
I love that book. It goes on forever.
I was gonna say, there's not a kid alive that's that age that would love a book that long. It would have an attention span, I should say, for the book that long.
But I have a lot of nifty thoughts about this movie, so it
Okay.
was a good choice.
Good deal. All right. How about you, Tammy?
Nope.
Nope, which means I'll have to go where he is. So give me 1 second, grabbing my stuff.
I don't know what's going on with the mic. Must be some sort of microphone issue.
Yeah, it's so fun, unfortunately.
The cat's laying on the mic
Yeah.
because they don't like the mice taking over.
You know, while we're kind of, what's up? Yeah.
Well, go ahead while they're sorting out the technical difficulties.
Well, I was going to say, I'll go ahead and throw out one thing, which is this movie is
Sign out of that.
related to one of life's great mysteries. I don't know if I've seen Fievel Goes West. I don't know. I know I wanted to.
It's how the West was fun. I remember that was the
Right. I remember
that was the tagline.
Yes, I remember that. I remember so much about wanting to see that. I remember seeing the trailers for it in the movie store and wanting to get it.
Turn it
But I
off
have
and turn it
no
back
mo-
on.
I did that already.
Oh,
Okay, now I hear. Okay.
That's
But,
because it's coming through Dave's mic.
And my youngest brother insists we saw Fievel Goes West as a family, but
Yeah.
I have no memory of it. But when I got this one, I got a copy, so I'm hoping to watch it this week and set that to rest once and for all.
Well, I know. I've
okay,
seen
Tammy,
Fievel Goes West.
you can speak now.
All right.
Since she'll be speaking into my device.
All right, go for it, Tammy.
So was this a first time watch for you?
Yes.
So you had never seen this before?
No,
Okay.
Oh,
And what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was cute.
all right.
I like the stars.
All right. Well, I guess so. I guess you're the one who's coming at it completely free of nostalgia. Does it seem like the kind of movie where, from your perspective, that would be a crucial element, or
He's asking if the nostalgia part would be a crucial element to enjoying the film.
I guess kind of. I mean, I heard about the movie. I just never actually watched it.
Oh,
And I do remember hearing the one song before, but I like the Cats one.
were you a, were you a teen in '86?
Yeah, because the minute she heard the lyrics, she was like, "What?" oh,
I was gonna say,
I liked it too.
you would have been in,
Diego was watching with us at the time,
you would probably still been in your early teens in '86.
but she was like, why would they think that there would be no cats in America?
Well, everyone's got their own beliefs. Sometimes they're weird.
That's how people, like a lot of immigrants, believed America was back then.
But in any case, is that pretty much most of your first impressions, or?
I thought it was cute. I mean, it was he was he was on quite an adventure
Mhm.
for a little mouse.
Right.
Mm.
Very good. So, so does that wrap it up then? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, An American Tale is, like I said, is a very, very nostalgic film for me. We definitely played Somewhere Out There a fair bit. I don't know how much I heard it on the radio, but I grew up with a few particular people that I heard a lot, and Linda Ronstadt was one of them. So I definitely heard that, probably via my parents or whatever. But the and last week I commented on, with Batteries Not Included, if I had grown up with the movie, I'd probably find the music much more iconic. And I said that would be the case this week, and sure enough, it's like when the opening credits started and they start the score, I'm like, yep, I know this music. Like, yep, I know it. For me, I have no idea, none, when I first saw this movie or under what circumstances. The movie came out when I was about 5, and I probably never saw it in theaters. It came out the same year as the Transformers movie, and I've always said that's the first movie I saw in theaters. I know I saw The Land Before Time, and I know I saw All Dogs Go to Heaven, but I think those were the only 2 Don Bluth films I actually saw in theaters. I could be wrong, but I don't think I did see this one. And like I was,
And did you realize that it was executively produced by Steven Spielberg at the time?
Well, no. I mean, I don't know. I don't know when I became aware of who Spielberg was. It might have been because I grew up with Jaws, but I don't think I saw Jaws when I was this young. It might have been Jurassic Park where I really became aware of who Spielberg was.
For me, it was E.T. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up. Well, I saw E.T. as a child, but I didn't really watch it. I think I probably saw it when it was on television. I couldn't swear to the first time I saw E.T. But I do know that I saw a handful of Amblin films growing up. I was familiar with the logo, and this was apparently their first animated feature. So that is kind of fun. But while I don't remember the first time I saw it, I'm almost certain we had the VHS of this movie. I'm almost certain it was in our VHS collection. And I think I have a personal VHS copy, but I'd have to check. I know we watched this movie a lot. I don't know that we ever had it really on repeat, but if I had to just, and I can't give a real estimate of how many times I've seen it, but just throwing a shot in the dark, I'd say a couple dozen times at least.
I would say about the same. I can't really
Yeah.
say for certain how many
Yeah.
times I did either.
But I do know it's been a long time. And if I do have it on VHS, I probably picked it up right around college, and I probably haven't seen it since. I can't say the last time I've seen this, but it's probably been since college at the latest. I thought I had converted it, that I had it in DVD, but I think this is one of the I think this is one of those instances. I'm finding a lot of them lately, and it's kind of surprising me. There are a lot of movies that I really thought I had in my DVD collection that I think I had on VHS and never converted to DVD. And now I'm getting them on Blu-ray, and I'm like, oh.
I guess I skipped a generation, didn't I?
Yeah, I did that with Clay Pigeons. And the other day I got That Thing You Do, and it turns I don't think I have that on DVD. I think I went straight from VHS to Blu-ray. So I think I did that with this one, but I think the reason why was I really wanted the 2-pack. I really wanted An American Tail and Fievel Goes West. Even though, like I told Brandon, I can't swear to it I ever saw Fievel Goes West. It's really weird. I remember wanting to see it, but I have no memory of seeing it. So it's like maybe I saw it once or twice, and somehow it didn't make I don't know. But I wanted the 2-pack because I do consider that a legit movie in a way. A lot of the Bluth sequels I really don't, like the Land Before Time ones. But and also, if I recall correctly, it's one of the last screen credits for Jimmy Stewart, so that's pretty notable there.
Which one did Jimmy Stewart play?
I think he's the dog, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. But at any rate, and I think John Cleese is in it too. But
yeah, John Cleese plays the villain.
Okay, well, that seems appropriate in some cases. Yeah. But so long story short, this is a movie that I've always had fond feelings for. I've always I had forgotten honestly the verses to "There Are No Cats in America."
Yeah,
and I love the juxtaposition of these really sad ballads and then that rousing chorus. It's great. I love it. Yes, exactly.
Especially the Irish one. I thought that one was kind of funny because you could tell he was really distraught, and then suddenly, but
there are no cats. Yeah. So the and then I'd forgotten Never Say Never, but that's also a very catchy and memorable song. And I didn't realize Christopher Plummer actually sings that song. So it's he could actually sing. He was pretty decent.
Well, he did play Captain Von Trapp.
That's a good point.
And he's still one of the best Scrooges that I've ever seen.
Right. And and the duo is not as memorable, but it's still a good, fun song. And then, of course, Somewhere Out There. I mean, this is absolutely some great music. Dom DeLuise is so fun. Tiger, we had a Tiger. Before we had Spirit, we had Bud, and Bud was Tiger in a lot of ways. This big floofy orange cat who, he was not quite as kind-hearted, you might say, as Tiger is, but definitely wasn't a vegetarian. But
did he like broccoli though?
But I will say a couple of things about this. One being that one thing has always bugged me about the film and that is how anti-feline it is.
That was a fairly common thing about a lot of kids' cartoons.
Yeah.
Is that the mice are the good guys and the
Well,
cats are the bad guys.
even the wave that
Yeah.
took Feifel from his family and the
Yeah.
ship was cat-like.
Yes, although that was supposed to be more of a nod, I think, to Fantasia than anything.
I mean, that was a scary scene.
Yeah.
I'm
Still,
surprised.
it was very cat-like.
Apparently, Don Bluth went all in on that, and Spielberg actually told him to scale it back. So,
some of
he
those
went
scenes,
rather dark a bit in the
like,
film.
they had the Cossack cats, and
yeah.
some of those scenes were downright scary.
So I will say that, yeah. Now, granted, this is a mouse eye view movie. I mean, the protagonists are mice, so naturally, cats are going to come across as villains to them. And also, if you look at it, and this leads into my other part, is that I thought it would be really fun to look at this movie now and timely to look at this movie now, because really when it comes down to it, this is a movie about three things, I think, most of all. One is family. That is a big, big, big through line in the film, is family. But also the immigrant experience and the promise of America are big themes in the movie. And so I was like, this is really timely to look at this right now. And you could say the cats are kind of like a stand-in for the kind of things that people run from. You know what I mean?
Well, plus, if you notice, it started in 1885 or 84.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that specifically for that Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
Bit.
And Henri's always going on about his statue.
Rival was helping to build it during that song.
Exactly. But which is, nice little bit of trivia about how, it was a gift from France. And also one thing puzzled me as a kid. I was like, why is the Statue of Liberty orange? And I was like, because it's copper, and copper oxidizes, which is why it's green-blue now. It's like, yep. I didn't know that as a kid, so I learned something. And there were a few and actually that was another thing. I was like, and I'll say this, and then I guess we'll go into the starting the movie. But it occurs to me that I think this movie may have been, again, I was a young, impressionable kid. I think this movie may actually have a lot to do with the way that I look at America and the way I look at what we're supposed to be as a country. Honestly, I think this movie helped shape that viewpoint. So for me, I think this is a very important film for me in terms of who I became as a person. And so, yeah, it's not bad for a little cartoon, is it?
No, it's definitely not.
It introduced you to your communist ways.
Well, the hero is a Russian. But actually,
and I kind of feel like it started during the Bolshevik
I was going to
Revolution.
say this is pre-communism. This is, and actually, I need to double check on my my Russian history in terms of where the borders were, because their great legend, their great myth, is the Great Mouse of Minsk, which, of course, Minsk is the capital of present-day Belarus. It's not even in Russia, so it's like, I don't know. It's interesting. But anyway, I guess that's it for my my initial intro. And yes, watching the movie again was deeply nostalgic, and I did feel like, yes, there were areas that had been grown over with cobwebs in my mind, and I watched them and I'm like, yeah, I don't really remember that part. But there were not many of those. I think most of this movie I watched and I was like, ah, yeah. You know what I mean? It's so I guess it was in there good. So as Dave just referenced, this movie basically opens in Russia in the late 1800s. Again, we think 1885, give or take a year or so.
Yeah, but not Soviet Russia.
Yeah, was that?
But not Soviet.
I said,
Russia.
yep.
Right. Oh, okay. I just saw a random thing on IMDb about an anachronism that Brandon also just referenced. Tiger says that he loves broccoli. And according to IMDb, broccoli was not commercially grown in the U.S. until the 1920s. So you probably wouldn't have even heard about it in New York, or at least not a native New Yorker. Might not have. But anyway,
it was the least favorite food of the vice president.
Okay, historically accurate information isn't exactly accurate, but
I remember him saying he liked broccoli.
Hey, broccoli's good stuff, especially with cheddar.
And actually, broccoli was the least favorite food of the vice president at the time this was released.
Okay.
Vice President Herbert Walker Bush's least favorite food was broccoli.
Ah, okay.
As the cat keeps walking over my keyboard.
What? I don't know that. What? The cat that isn't there because you're in America.
Yeah. But you know I'm not in America anymore. I haven't been there for a while.
Yes. So yeah. Well, like I said, I kind of have a mixed feeling about that because I love cats, but if you look at almost all of the characters in this movie, we're looking at cats. We have a rock pigeon with Henri. We've got mice, basic European mice, and Warren T. Rat. Spoilers, people. Spoilers to the people at home, who is actually a cat, but he is pretending to be the very self-same species that we found in a dumpster at work last week. And all four species, the house cat, the European mouse, the brown rat, and the rock pigeon, are terribly invasive in this country and most of the world. So
Ratus.
What's that?
Ratus.
Although I guess that fits with the immigrant thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so and I'm just going to go ahead and say, in case I forget to say it later, because I want to say it, a scheming shyster con artist named Warren T. Rat that's one of the best villain names they could have come up with. I have always liked that.
Is it just me though? Throughout this movie, they give Fievel his hat early on. That's his Christmas gift at the beginning. Yeah. Which is interesting because I think they're a Jewish family of rats, or at least it seems to be because the oy vey and the last name. Was
Christmas specifically, or was it?
I don't know. I think they said it was Christmas, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
And what's interesting is, you ever notice that Fievel will have the hat off for a time, and you won't know where the heck he's been putting that hat because it just disappears for a while and then reappears.
On his belt and so I know. And it's like, I thought about this and I thought about, well, Spielberg is producing, and there is at least one scene where there seems to be a direct nod to Indiana Jones, with Fievel saving the hat at the last moment. So, and Indiana Jones famously had some sort of weird superpower for keeping hold of his hat. So maybe Fievel's got the same power.
That's exactly where that hat going.
I noticed the hat would disappear and reappear too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he got into the water, you didn't see the hat on him,
Well,
and then suddenly it appeared like shortly later.
See it though tied behind his back though at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple times where it's like hanging on his waist or whatever. Yeah. It's yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. How it's of course there are a couple times, and when they find his hat, that's where there's a narrative purpose to him being parted from his hat. But up until then, but at any rate, yes, we do start out on a winter's eve, maybe Christmas, maybe Hanukkah. I don't know if it's specified, but and we see this Russian family of mice. They're very warm and friendly, and the papa is this big, friendly guy, and mama's a little more serious, and it's clear she wears the pants in the family. And but you got the two, and there's a baby who we see sometimes later and sometimes we don't. But then you got Fievel and Tanya, and Tanya's the older one, Fievel's the younger one, and they talk about presents, and that's where the father produces a headscarf for Tanya, and he gives Fievel his hat that I think he said had been in the family for like 4 generations. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, they're obviously meant to be very poor, but rich where it matters, But I'm thinking, and this is clearly a family heirloom hand-me-down, but I'm like, a hat that's been worn by that many successive generations is probably some possibility of lice or something like that. But also, I'm like, they seriously don't make stuff like that anymore. You buy a hat nowadays, it lasts for a year at best. So it's like, so I'm like, this must be a quality hat. And it is one of a few areas where there seems to be a bit of a commentary, whether they meant it or not. There's a bit of a commentary on how things were versus how they are. But yeah, so he gives him this hat, which is too big. It just falls right down over his ears. And and the mother's like, well, you grow into it, common hand-me-down statement there. And then I want to say there was, like I said, Nehemiah Persoff plays the father, and Papa Moskowitz. I want to say there was some specific reason, and I'm trying to remember. I read something about why he was chosen, and it was interesting, but I can't remember what it is. And as far as Fievel, apparently was like the name of Steven Spielberg's grandfather or something. So it was like a nod to his family. I think I'm remembering that correctly. But anyway, their peaceful night is interrupted when the town suddenly comes under attack by Cossack raiders who are accompanied by cats that are very vicious. And
they also are wearing Cossack hats.
Yes.
They could have been a mustache march.
Yeah. And while the humans are going around burning down the buildings and just generally causing mayhem and mischief, the the cats are, of course, going for the mice and giving them literally a run for their lives. And so then we cut to the steamer ship that's going west, and the Mouskowitzes are boarding the ship along with a whole bunch of other mice. And as they're going up the lines, Fievel keeps stopping and pointing out everything and really ticking off everyone behind him.
Keep walking.
Yes, keep walking. And I don't really know why the band keeps getting messed up when he does that, but the band's getting pissed.
Yeah, band is helping keep pace.
Yeah, they went to from Russia to Hamburg, Germany, I think.
Yeah, Germany. Yeah.
Hamburg is still a very big port to this day.
Yeah. So they kind of skip a small journey there, but that's obviously not the main journey we're concerned with.
No.
They do board the ship, and it's while on the ship that we already kind of got this, but now we find out very clearly Fievel is a kid.
Bored.
He is easily bored and very, 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 very full of energy that he constantly has to burn somehow.
This is one of those things that I don't remember as much as a kid.
Yes.
I didn't remember Fievel being that immature of a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe it was because it was from a different. Maybe it was from Fievel Goes West, where he's a little bit older. But I swear, my mind was like, I don't remember him being that much of a little kid. But he was like really, really young. I mean, we're talking like 4 to 5 year old level kid.
I don't know if he was meant to be that young, but the guy that played him, Philip Glasser, was about 6 when he recorded the role. Like, I think he was 6 to 7. So he was a young'un.
Well, he came across as definitely younger than 6 or 7. He definitely came across as pre-elementary school kid.
I will say that actually, how old is the one that we hung out with a couple weeks ago? Is he 6 yet, or is he 5?
He is 5, just going into it.
He was full of energy. And Lord knows where I work, there are a lot of kids, and I would say there are 6 and 7 year olds who act like this. There probably are more 5. Fievel is probably more of a 5 age. He's obviously much younger because he's a mouse, and I don't think they they don't age the same rate. But
if he was a 5-year-old mouse, then he'd be
old
mouse at that point.
Yeah, but at any rate, so we find out that he cannot stay in one place. He is very, very curious, always looking around, always getting. He discovers some fish and gets really excited and goes, and Papa is trundling along behind him trying to keep up. And he goes back and he tells his mom all about it. And she chastises him and says that if he's not careful, the cats will get him. And that, of course, freaks out all the mice in the hold. And that's where we have our big musical number of "There Are No Cats in America." And it's just, and there are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese.
And of course, that's based off of like where they talk about the streets are paved with like diamonds or gold or whatnot that you would hear a lot of foreigners say about the United States in the early days of Ellis Island.
And while it is true that prior to European settlement, the only cats in America were the handful of natives that we have here. There were no house cats and no clear equivalent of a house cat until we brought them over. By the time this movie takes place, they were here.
Oh God, yeah, they would have come over on almost every ship because the ships would keep them.
They would keep them to control mice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Fievel and his crew are starting a plague, like a mini plague in the city.
Right. So they have that big musical number, and then the storm hits, and this is a hell of a storm. And like I said, it looks like something straight out of a much different movie.
Like The Perfect Storm.
Yeah, just about. Actually, considering how close they were to New York Harbor, apparently when the storm hit, it might have not been too far away from where that movie took place. Because wasn't The Perfect Storm off of Nova Scotia?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think I saw that movie in theaters, and I don't think I've seen it since, so I don't remember it very well. But anyway, so yeah, we have so we're basically up to well during the storm, Fievel gets thrown overboard, and his parents write him off as dead. They're heartbroken over it, but they believe they will never see him again. Tanya does not lose the faith, and we find out later. Now Tilly Moskowitz, we find out later that she doesn't believe he's dead, that he is still around, and he does show up. He finds his way, somehow floats ashore in a bottle, where he is discovered by Henri the pigeon.
Actually, that's one of the hat misnomer. That's one of the hat issues right there. Is that Fievel is not wearing the hat when he's in the bottle.
Yeah,
he's not wearing the hat when he's out of the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yet somehow, when he's walking there, he's wearing the hat right after that.
Of course,
correct. And then when he's in the because Henri actually allows him to bathe, and then he helps him on with his clothes, and you don't see the hat right away either.
Maybe he has a very, 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 very limited version of Erza's requip power, where the only thing he can requip is that hat, but he can do it at will. But anyway, so does anyone have anything up to this point that they want to talk on, or have we done a pretty good once over?
I think we've been doing a pretty good once over.
Yeah.
As we've been going.
Okay. All right. So this is where we meet Henri the pigeon. And I think separately, we also see the Mouskowitzes file through immigration. And like I said, Tanya gets renamed Tilly. And the parents, meanwhile, are just still kind of distraught that Fievel's gone.
4.
What's up? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good moment there. But like I said, Fievel washes up on Staten Island, and Henri introduces him. He kind of nurses him back, bathes him and whatnot. And then he's like, what's that? Well, and Fievel is very upset too. He doesn't think he'll ever see his family again. And that's where Henri does his song, Never Say Never Again, and it's very, this very kind of mid-tempo waltz, kind of upbeat, very fun song. And this is also where he starts talking about his statue and all this kind of stuff. And he gets ready to send Fievel off to someone who can help. And he's like, I think Fievel says something like, aren't you coming? He's like, if I go with you, I never finish the statue. And Fievel's like, Henri, you said never. And so that's where Fievel ends up checking in with Warren T. Rat, who
apparently that's who Henri thinks will be able to find his family.
Well, we find out that Warren has been he kind of has his fingers in all pies. He has connections all up and down the Mouse Society in New York.
He doesn't take him specifically to Warren. He takes him to immigration. It just happens that Warren has his stuff set up like right in immigration.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's got a sweatshop that he's got to come up with numbers, so he just kind of ends up throwing Fievel in so that he can fill his quota.
And incidentally, he has an accountant is a cockroach called Digit, played by Will Ryan. It's interesting, but yeah, he comes on all friendly and I'll help you, and then he takes him to the sweatshop and he clearly betrays him.
I used to really like the little cockroach character when I was a kid. I just thought it was really cool, little electric stuff that went off with him.
Right.
I always thought that was fun when I was a kid. I don't know why. I just thought that was entertaining.
I thought it was amusing too. I don't know if there was ever really a reason for it. It was just kind of there.
Yeah, it's interesting because the way that Bluth does his art, it just feels like just a natural thing as it goes.
Yeah. The one random bit of trivia that I read that I thought was kind of fun, and I think I said something about this on a troll in Central Park. I think, and I don't know what the stats are for that one, but I think, like I said, I thought the animation was a little wilder than some of his others. I feel like it's a little more controlled here, if that makes sense. But apparently he wanted to demonstrate. I don't know exactly who he was demonstrating it to, but he wanted to demonstrate the difference between television animation and film animation. And he had some of his assistants stack 2 minutes of frames for a television program and for this one. And it was the television one was a couple feet high, and the movie one was up to his eyes. That was the difference in frame rate, It was,
he always had high standards with his animation as what he does.
Right.
I will say that this one, you can tell, has a lot more effort into it.
Yeah.
Or at least the style, you can tell it is much more similar to his other 80s films.
Right.
A Troll in Central Park has definitely his style had started to change and morph a bit at that time.
I need to revisit Anastasia, but I feel like that one also did have a pretty polished look, and that came later. But
that one looked a lot more, almost like more modern Disney than this, because this one still kind of looks like the stuff that Bluth had done for Disney. Because you can really tell if you look at the Disney stuff when Bluth was working for them, you can truly tell that his touch being involved.
And it's worth noting that this came out. This one, The Secret of Nim and The Land Before Time, came out during what a lot of people would call kind of the dark ages for Disney. And actually, this one came out within a few months of The Great Mouse Detective, and this did so much better.
It's actually kind of
funny because the whole cat, like the rat being the
Right.
cat,
Yeah.
that was one of those things that I'd always mixed up with the Great Mouse Detective, where you had the one where you, of course, you also have the villain pretending to be something he isn't, but he's just a rat pretending to be a mouse. So it's kind of interesting, some of the parallels you see. I used to mix those two up, and then I've seen Great Mouse Detective several times since then, and that one I've actually seen fairly recently, but not this one.
That one, Radigan was, I think, meant to be a riff on Moriarty.
Yeah.
And Moriarty was supposed to be like a professor, I think. Like he's really intelligent and erudite and all that stuff. And here, Warren T. Rat is clearly a street level hustler. But he actually reminded me a lot. And I don't know if this was intentional on either if Don Bluth was hearkening back to the old serials, or if Warren Beatty was hearkening to this. But Warren reminds me a lot of Big Boy Caprice from Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. They're very similar in a lot of ways because they are those shifty street level hustlers who believe that they are much bigger than they really are, and who have the ability to have these big armies of people following them. And they're constantly misquoting. Big Boy was always horribly misquoting presidents and founding fathers and that sort of thing. And Warren here is always misquoting Shakespeare. It's really funny. It's like, I kind of like that. And that was something I don't think I appreciated as much as a kid. Yeah. There's a lot of things I appreciate more as an adult than.
I mean, most of the immigration stuff that they show, it definitely hits differently when you've actually had the classes and you know a little bit about the history. As when I was 7 or 8, I'm sorry, but my knowledge of immigration was very little.
There are a lot of things that are very that hit differently once, and that being a big one of them. So he ends up getting thrown in this sweatshop where he meets Tony Taponi, a kind of budding hustler of his own, but a good one. Like he's a real upstanding guy, just a little mischievous, and he, all the other kids are kind of mocking Fievel, but Tony's like, you know what, this kid might be onto something. I'm going to go along with, I'm going to go along with him,
We'll call him Philly.
What's that?
We'll call him Philly.
Exactly.
Because Fievel is a mouthful.
Well, but that's the truth, though. A lot of times when they would come to the United States back in the days of Ellis Island, before it took like 10 years and $75,000 to become a citizen of the United States, you would go through and they would give you an Americanized name as a way of helping you integrate. So that's why, you see Tilly and Philly, which is kind of funny because Philly is kind of similar to the French word for girl. But hey.
Well, now apparently, I read, I can't remember if it was Spielberg or Bluth, but Philip Glasser, apparently his mother called him Philly. And they liked it so much that they gave it, they made it Fievel's nickname, So it was like, okay, there you go.
That is actually kind of funny because now that I think about it, Bluth really was the king of animation in the mid to late 80s and early 90s before like Little Mermaid kind of
brought Disney back.
Well, this was 3 years before The Little Mermaid, and that was, the so-called start of this. The start of the so-called Disney Renaissance.
Because this one and Land Before Time,
Disney Renaissance, when the clamshell artists were popular.
Well, this one, Land Before Time, soundly bested Disney at that time. Secret of Nem, I think, just kind of held even, but Secret of Nem was just a showing of how amazing the animation could be. Right. And I do think that if Secret of Nem came out just a few years later, it would have probably also bested Disney at the time.
All Dogs Go to Heaven came out the same year as The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And that was one that did pretty well, but I think that, that really was where the flipping of the, because the next one
was so close to a Disney film that that many people mistook it for a Disney film.
Yeah.
Because Anastasia was pretty much, it almost was beat for beat a Disney film.
Right.
And now I guess Anastasia is a Disney princess.
Right.
Because she's owned by Disney now. Actually, would this be owned by Disney as well? I know that Anastasia is because it was Fox.
Well, yeah. This was Amblin. This, I think, is Universal.
I think it's Universal. So, that's not owned by Disney yet.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Right. So, I didn't realize Titan AE was also a Fox release by Don Bluth. That's another one I never did see.
Titan AE was pretty much the last effort.
I love Titan AE.
Yeah.
Fox Animation died with that film because they had tried to make a go at it versus Disney, and from what I read, that was the one that killed it because it did so poorly in theaters. Not to say I don't like it, because I did like Titan AE, but I also like Treasure Planet, and that was considered a bust. So,
well,
I liked that one too.
So back to this one, then we had basically Fievel makes a run for it, and Tony goes along with him. He's promised to help him find his family. And before long, they run into, we might say I'm sure some people would call her an agitator. Some would call her a freedom fighter. I don't know what, or just a protester.
Suffrage speaker.
She wasn't quite a suffragette because she was speaking for everybody, not just for.
Yeah, she was speaking against cats more than anything.
Yeah.
And that was Bridget, who, when Tony and Bridget see each other, it is instant.
Well, more for Tony.
Well, they were both pretty into each other.
I was gonna say they were into each other they were both, as soon as they both looked at each other, it was just like, okay, I guess they're in love.
And it's and it is kind of one thing I'll say about this movie. Some people would probably nitpick at it, but I think it's something that I think it comes from a good place. There are a lot of people who are clearly stand-ins for particular groups, particular ethnicities, whatever. Tony is clearly meant to be Italian, and Bridget is clearly Irish. And, one thing that a lot of people tend to overlook nowadays is there was a time where the Irish and the Italians were treated like shit in this country. There was a time where they were the other. They were the villain.
They were what made up working class America.
Yes. They
only got their white cards in the 60s.
We have always had an other, an enemy. And it's always been bullshit. But there was a time where, and the time this movie took place, it pretty much was the Irish and the Italians. So it is kind of cool that they had the two of them be like the ones that kind of team up with Fievel. And here's another little tie into history. Tammany Hall is pretty famous, not always in a good way. And there was apparently an Honest John, at Tammany Hall. But apparently Bridget knows Honest John, this version. And this version is, well, let's just say he drinks a lot.
Oh, yes, a man after my own heart.
and he is absolutely a politician through and through.
And he's also a racial stereotype. But hey,
Yes,
let's go with
he
that.
is. He is. He is an Irish stereotype. There is no two ways about it. But it is, once again, I feel like it comes from, a place where they're not mocking. They're trying to, make him more colorful, I
Don't know
guess.
them yet.
And I will
But
say,
it's like she introduces him to, they're at a wake for another mouse. And I think John says it's like his fourth wake day.
I will say that when you have this, Fievel is much more competent.
Yes.
After he separates from his parents. You could say he was forced to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, in the sweatshop, all the rest of them are resigned to their fate. Fievel escapes within 10 minutes of being there. He's just like, yep, I'm getting out of here. I got what to do. I don't care what y'all says. It's impossible. Nope, going on down, getting out of here.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like everybody has escaped. Fievel is the one who kind of drives things forward when other characters get stalled, including even the romance, because he's the one who ends up pushing Tony, and they end up kissing accidentally, him and Bridget, and that's there. And even when you get to the politician scene, Fievel is the one who helps them come up with the plan once they move on to their about cats run. Which, by the way, Madeline Kahn is obviously Madeline Kahn in that scene. I didn't have to know that she was in the movie in order to say, oh, Madeline Kahn's in this.
She's pretty much reprising the role of Lily von Stupp from Blazing Saddles. She's pretty much reprising a role that was I think she got the Oscar nod for that role.
Like Donna DeLuise, she had a voice that you would not mistake. Usually. Right.
But so when they introduce him, we see a couple things in this scene about how Honest John. Well, when someone goes by the name Honest, you gotta wonder. When Bridget introduces Fievel to him, and he says he's looking for his family, and John's response is, "Are they voters?" Something like that.
Well, I mean, they even say there's even callbacks to dead voters, because as soon as he looks like he just writes down the corpse's name.
Yes, I love that, and that was what I was going to say. Was he's like,
a ghost vote.
I have another ghost voter, and he writes it in his little book. It's like I said, Tammany Hall has become shorthand for political corruption in America. I don't think they had anything on what's going on now, but they still were infamous for it. And so I liked how they kind of incorporated that into this without dwelling on it. But I'm trying to recall exactly what happened after this to separate. Because I don't think it was, well, this was where we also do meet Gussie Mossheimer, I think, Mausheimer. I think this is where we do meet her. Yes, because she comments on the dead mouse. Why is there a dead mouse? But so she's this very, very, very wealthy socialite who apparently is a do-gooder. Someone who wants to be very active in causes and that kind of stuff. But she also is not shy about the fact that she is very snooty and well-to-do.
Yep, especially what
it's
and
like, what's the one thing she says is something like, money is not everything. I know because I have money and I have everything.
yep, and she is when she's at the wowie.
Yes, the wowie.
The wowie. When she's at the wowie, she is called out on the fact that she's wealthy. Why should we listen to you?
Right.
You know, kind of thing. So
right. It's but she does rally the support or wowie the support. But I do want to ask, was it before or after the wowie that Fievel ended up with his first encounter with the cats?
So what happens with the cat? Okay, well, there's a cat issue when they're doing the suffrage thing. They have a cat attack. But if you're talking when they come up with the gang of cats,
when he meets Tiger and all them.
Yeah, that's when that's after they have the rally.
Yep. In fact, that's while they are actually creating the Mouse of Mix.
Yes, Tony ends up getting up late and rushes, and Fievel ends up.
Yes,
and that's how it goes. But
yes.
And actually, it's kind of funny because if you notice, almost all throughout this, he is like missing his parents by
yes.
And
there's one.
And just to say, because we're all missing one important part, which is that after Bridget and them get together, she lets them stay in her little house in the water tower, and that's when you have these somewhere out there, and Fievel and his sister sing it kind of as a duet. So I want to
also we should mention that when he was thrown into the sweatshop, his family had actually just moved in like a couple floors above, so they were always perpendicular to each other at all times.
Well, yeah, there
and
are
passing each other. They just didn't know.
A lot of near misses.
Yeah,
but yeah, we do have that scene of Tanya and Fievel doing that. They're somewhere out there singing to each other and not really knowing it exactly, but just kind of suspecting.
If you go by the movie, they were only like 10 feet apart during the time, obviously, and
it might have been more than that, but it
you know
was.
What I mean, like they're almost always missing each other by inches throughout this.
There's like one part where Fievel and Tony are going down a ramp, and Tanya and Papa Mousewitz are right under them. Yeah,
I mean their temporary house is just like a floor down from the sweatshop.
Right.
So not only do they pass them on the way up, they pass them back on the way down when they're escaping.
And then during the wowie,
she can't see.
Tanya is sitting on Papa's shoulders, but she can't see because someone in front of her keeps standing up. And meanwhile, Fievel is sitting next to Bridget on the dais. And at one point, he actually comes up and whispers into Mausenheimer's ear, and she then whispers to the Honest John, and that's apparently where the idea for the Mouse of Minsk arises. So Fievel set the plan in motion, and I did find it kind of funny that she was whispering to Honest John using the megaphone, and I'm like, that's an interesting way to do that. But must not have been a very effective megaphone, I guess. But
he is a spirited child, that's for sure.
Yes, he is, and creative. So yeah, they get that plan together, and then yes, as Brandon said, Tony oversleeps, and Fievel,
and he kind of blames Philly for it. He's like, I can't tell time, Tony.
Right. and they're like rushing, but of course Tony's bigger, longer legged, and Fievel gets left behind, and that's where he ends up coming
Hearing
across
his father's music.
He hears music and assumes it's his father.
And by the way, the piece of music that his father always seems to play is a piece of Beautiful Dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he hears the so-called music, he thinks it's his papa,
right,
playing it for him.
Right, and it turns out that Warren is playing sort of like, I guess, a phonograph or whatever, and the music is playing over that. But when Fievel comes in, he sees a group of cats playing poker. And although Tiger, the rather rambunctious, jovial orange cat, doesn't realize they're playing poker and tries to call, I think it was Rummy.
You hear that, Ozzy? They're talking about you.
What's up? Is that Ozzy? Hey, Ozzy.
Ozzy's right up here at the time we're talking about.
He's not as floofy as Tiger. Tiger is like if Ozzy and Rose were meld.
And you notice it's interesting that that part of the cards in his hand are facing the other way.
Yes.
So.
Yes, he doesn't even have them all the right way. Yeah. Tiger is not that bright, but he's a good guy. He's a fun guy, and but of course, Fievel sneaks around. This is where he learns that Warren T. Rat is actually a cat, and he is spotted, and all hell breaks loose as they try to catch him, and he almost gets away and then stops for reasons in front of the open manhole. And then we see a paw just reach up and snag him.
Well, obviously, I'm safe. I got out of the sewer.
Yes. So, and then we have our next big musical number. But before we get to that, anything anyone wants to hit that we haven't up to that point?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay. So we find Fievel in one of several cages, apparently. And he's being, just kind of guarded. And then Tiger comes in and relieves. He tells the other guy, "Wake up! You gotta go." That sort of thing.
This is where he tells him he likes broccoli, right?
Well, this is where Tiger comes in, and he's very friendly from the word go. He's just really not like you would think a jailer would be, and he has no animosity toward Fievel or anyone. And Fievel responds in kind, and they quickly find out that, wow, they have a lot in common. And, they do that song, "We're a Duo," and I'm like, wow, that went fast. That was as fast as Tony and Bridget. But, and you know what that one reminded me of? Even though I didn't love the movie Step Brothers. You have this scene where John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell go from hating each other to being did we just become best friends? And I don't know why I heard that as soon as they started talking, I was like, I just heard them going, "Did we just become best friends?" And it's like I said, they have that little, weird duo, which is a really fun song. But if I'm being honest, it's probably the least memorable of the four of the original songs. I think. I don't know if y'all disagree on that. But by the end of the song, they are best buds. And and of course, Fievel is able to prevail upon Tiger's big heart and and they go looking for his family, and then we have, well, everyone else is hard at work putting the mouse together, and we get an idea of the battle plans, where the idea is they're going to retrieve the cats at a certain point in time, and then the what's that?
So they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
They're going to retrieve the cats and bring them to the dock, where there's a ship headed for Hong Kong. And the idea is they're going to use the secret weapon to herd the cats onto a ship. Obviously, they're not aware that herding cats is very difficult.
Herding cats is not very well done.
Yeah.
But at any rate,
well, the idea is that once they release this secret weapon,
right,
is that this secret weapon is going to herd them to the ship and make sure that they get on the ship, so that while it's leaving, they can leave.
Yes,
you know?
And they're aware that the ship will blow its horn at a certain time, and that is when, no more, no less, that is when they need the cats to go on the boat, you know.
And then there won't be more cats in America.
Yes, because clearly this one little thing would get rid of all. Yeah, but anyway, there is a flaw in the plan, but
there's a fly in the ointment, so to speak.
Right. But at any rate, I don't recall exactly what happened.
Okay, so basically, while they were finishing singing the song together about the duo, they were found out.
Yeah.
And then there was a cat and mouse chase.
Yes.
And Tiger was fired, and he was like, "Fuck you, anyways. I didn't like you to begin with."
He's a little too kind-hearted to say that, but
well, you know what I mean. It's a family film. He didn't exactly say that, but in my mind, that was pretty much what he was saying.
Right. Yes. Deuces.
Yeah. I didn't like you to begin with. Or you were poorly paying me, or something like that. But,
right.
Wasn't the rat thing or whatever? He starts a fire because.
Yeah, but this is after the chase, because Feifel ends up bringing the cats to the place where everyone had the secret weapon. Also, and he's also. It's too early. Some people are saying too early. Honest John is trying to tell people it's too early, but the one lady in charge was like, the cats are here early. Everyone wake up!
Right. Well, yeah, they were all now they probably should have been planning on getting up a little bit sooner to have a little more wiggle room, but yeah, basically she is like, everyone get up, get to your stations, we need to. And Honest John apparently didn't get that memo, and he's like, why are you getting no, it's not time.
Tie it up, release the secret weapon.
And they finally managed to stop the forward motion of the thing. They finally get it locked back into place, and then the horn goes off, and he's like, release. It's like, yeah, they couldn't make up their minds, but But what they do, they release the Great Mouse of Minsk, which is this weird contraption that they put together in this. Basically, it looks like sort of a low-rent would-be Ripley's museum that's there at the docks. They managed to commandeer a skeleton and balloons and just made this weird, crazy, and they like stocked it with fireworks. There's like all these fireworks going off, and scared the bejesus out of these cats.
Oh yeah.
And,
Should, you know, I mean,
yeah.
Well,
Sit there,
before this happened, a warranty rat thought he was going to put the place to a blaze, but and it kind of does afterwards, but it was like a delayed reaction, you know.
yeah, I
He
feel
tries
like
to talk them into turning over Fievel, basically.
I feel like this part, after this part is done, they end up really kind of taking a lot of extra time. I feel like this movie could have ended about 10 minutes, well, 5 minutes earlier, because I don't think like having Fievel get washed away by the fire department and then found later after he's kind of pissed on by the orphans in Orphan Alley was necessary. Though, I mean, it did have more heartwarming thing, but it could have been done just as well as that they searched for him and found him in the burnout wreck of the fire.
Well, the one thing about that scene was that it did give him a chance to hit bottom and lose his faith, but he gets it right back. So it's like, yeah, I wonder if it was fully necessary, but it was an interesting extra beat they wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Like, we need a few more minutes in this film.
I don't know. But yeah, it does lead. So there are a couple of things about that. So yeah, during the thing, Fievel is actually the one who because Honest John had insisted on them tying the creature back up, the device, they couldn't get it loose. So Fievel is the one that has the presence of mind to take some fire and burn the rope. And it does release the thing, but it also kind of whips the rope and tosses him against a metal pin. And so, yeah, he ends up getting knocked out, probably a concussion, but you know. But meanwhile, this thing barrels forward and all the cats go scrambling down the dock right off into the water. But then you see them all kind of riding the anchor up as it's being pulled up. And you see Digit, you know, like, oh, I have to learn to calculate in Chinese, you know, all this stuff.
I do like how the whole, like, now they're like, yeah, we got rid of all the cats in America. I'm like,
right. No, but you got rid of one particular cell of nasty characters, so good on you for that. But we do have then you've got certain people. Tony and Bridget are going around looking for Philly, and they call him Philly Mousekewitz, and that's where Tanya perks up and goes, "Are they calling for Fievel?" And it's no, they're not calling. Well, they changed my name to Tilly. Maybe they called him Philly. Right. And so she finds them, and it's like, and Papa's like, please tell my daughter that you're not looking for Fievel, you're looking for Philly. And Tony's like, we're looking for Philly and Fievel. And it's like, and then not long after that is where they find this hat. And that's where I say that was the one part where he loses the hat, actually loses it. And it's so he has that moment, they have that moment where Bridget hands it to the mother and she turns around, Papa, look, you know, and that's like, so they finally know that Fievel is alive by the hat. So there is that little.
The father's been trying to basically say, we need to move on, he's dead.
Yes. Move along, nothing to see here. But yeah, so they all go looking, and meanwhile, Tiger witnessed this whole thing. And the next we see all of them. We see Tony and Bridget and Mossheimer and the Moskowitzes all riding Tony, going around, looking for him, calling for him. But I think this is after we do have that scene of the orphans picking on him and, trying to beat him into the ground,
It's kind of during.
What's that?
It's kind of during.
Yeah. And Fievel basically is like, well, no, they're like, well, if they're around, they didn't try to find you, did they? And it's like, you're right, they didn't, but then they do. He hears them, and they hear him, and they find each other, and and a big hug, and everything's happy again. And then we have kind of the final scene where Tanya and Fievel are riding Henri, and I think you've got their parents riding Henri's lady friend, and for whatever reason, Tiger has been lifted by several pigeons. But they're all flying around, looking around, and you see sort of a planting the seed for the sequel, where where Henri points to that is America too, just showing him
more America.
More America, yes. And that's pretty much the end. We go into some kind of old sepia tone credits, and then we go into the big radio hit that was the Linda Ronstadt, James Ingram version of Somewhere Out There.
That was everywhere for a hot minute.
Yeah. Apparently it topped out at number 2 on the charts.
Not bad.
And like I said, the one Oscar nod this film got was for original song. So, but it ended up losing for, I think it lost to Top Gun, actually. What was the, trying to remember exactly, but it was
Kenny Loggins.
Danger Zone.
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was Take My Breath Away. I need to double check what won that year, but I think that was it. I don't remember if Danger Zone was nominated. It probably should have been, but that's one of the problems when you have too many good songs from one movie. But of course, if they had an animated feature category back then, I'm sure this would have been a shoo-in for a nod, but that wasn't even a glimmer of a thought back then. But anyway, so that's pretty much the plot. What's that?
The plot.
Yeah. Did anybody have anything else they want to talk about with the film before we go into production?
No, I think we're ready for production.
Okay. Real quick, I'm just double checking one little thing. And that is, yes, the song that won was Take My Breath Away. But, okay, I don't know. I don't remember That's Life. The song Life in a Looking Glass was nominated. But this was a pretty stacked year otherwise. We had Somewhere Out There from this movie up against the ultimate winner, Take My Breath Away from Top Gun. That's Life from Life in a Looking Glass. Life in a Looking Glass from That's Life. But we also had The Glory of Love from The Karate Kid Part 2 and Mean Green Mother from Outer Space from Little Shop of Horrors. That's a heck of a lot up there. But
it's hard to believe that film came out that year too. That was a big year.
Did we covered that at one point, didn't we? The Little Shop of Horrors?
I think we have covered it.
Yes.
I think I put it.
Okay. That was a good one.
We covered it when I think We covered it some years back too.
If we go forward with Brandon's idea of doing originals and remakes next year, we could always do the original and remake of that. That'd be kind of interesting. But at any rate, so production. We've already touched a little bit on this. Again, it is a Don Bluth production. Does have the Amblin logo. Spielberg definitely helped probably give this a little bit more of a budget and a professional background that was a little different than what Bluth had available with Nim. And I think that we've already kind of touched on. I feel the movie does look pretty polished and pretty, especially for the time. It looks pretty darn good for the time. And there are again some fun historical things like the Statue of Liberty actually being copper colored. And there are some fun little visual jokes scattered in. Like, I think it's in the original.
Cat got your tongue.
Well, like where I think it's where the Mousekowitz's homestead in Russia. We see the little jars, and it says breadcrumbs, breadcrumbs, more breadcrumbs.
Yes.
We see little things like that scattered around that were kind of fun. But what are y'all's thoughts overall on the production for this?
It was a beautiful film. It was well done with the same artistry and animation quality that you got to see in some earlier films like Secret of Nim. But I felt like they had definitely gotten to their stride. And I will say that I thought Secret of Nim looked better.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that this one had more appeal. So I still say this one had just as high quality animation. There did not seem to be a lot of corners cut.
Mm-hmm.
In general, this was a labor of love by the animator.
Right. Go ahead.
I also agree. This was definitely a labor of love. And there was a lot of there was a lot of details factored into it, but I do think like Brandon mentioned, broccoli wasn't mentioned in the Americas until like the 1920s. So right. That didn't exactly historically factor in.
Now, of course, from a biological standpoint, there is also the issue that cats cannot be vegetarians. They require meat. By nature, they are carnivores. And unlike every other family in the order Carnivora, they are not omnivores. They are carnivores. But they can
You're
eat.
not vegetarian, Diego?
Mr. Anderson.
They can eat some vegetable matter, but they're very picky about it. I know cats love catnip, obviously. I know they love lemongrass and certain other grasses. They love ginger, although it depends on the cat. But I don't know what effect broccoli would have on them, to be honest. But anyway, but they could not survive on broccoli. That would be a given. But anyway, the couple other things on production I want to mention. I already mentioned that there were a few parts that Spielberg encouraged Bluth to scale back a little bit on what might have been a little bit more, if you will, frightening elements, for the kiddies. And it's also worth noting that two of the screenwriters were longtime Sesame Street writers. So IMDb said something about that might be one reason why the movie resonated the way it did with kids. And I could see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
just as an aside, it is safe for cats to eat broccoli in small to moderate amounts.
Okay. So just like with humans, because honestly, if you're a human and you're eating all broccoli all the time, it's not good for you. But
So I can't be Popeye.
well, broccoli and spinach are completely different. They are literally completely different. Their
No
chemical
offense, but
structure, everything is different. What's that?
Tiger does not look like he only eats broccoli.
Well, he did
No.
say he eats fish as well.
And again, in fairness, if you shaved off all his fur, he'd be about a third that size. Actually, Tiger might be Maine Coon. I think he's treated. I think he's described as a Persian, but Persians are usually not orange, and he's just huge and floofy. He might be like a Maine Coon Persian mix.
Yeah.
He is not as skinny as you guys are trying to make him out to be.
Oh no! I'm just joking. But
No, he's definitely a lard.
A plump cat, yes.
I did like this interesting little blurb on IMDb, and you take it with a grain of salt, but then again, the internet, it never lies. So, but Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert gave the film 2 thumbs down, with Ebert declaring this is the most downbeat movie since Return to Oz, which began, you may remember, with Dorothy being strapped down for electroshock therapy. Other critics tended to agree, but judging by the box office numbers, the public did not. The alleged downbeat movie made more than $47 million domestically, beating The Great Mouse Detective that had been released a few months earlier. I'm like, okay, I find that amusing because I don't think I ever thought this was a depressing or downbeat film.
No.
Now, watching it, yes, a lot of shit happens to this family.
Yeah, but
It's
at
not
the
over.
same time, at the same time, other than maybe that orphan part at the end, there's always a hopeful nature to it, and Fievel almost always gets out of trouble very quickly and has somebody looking out for him, which is so I don't really consider it that downbeat, really.
Right. It's like I said, there is that moment at the end where he loses the faith, and it does get dark there for just a moment.
Yeah.
But up until that point, yeah.
I guess if they had done it like Grave of the Fireflies, and Fievel starved to death before
I still dispute that there's no hope in that film. I still dispute that.
Yeah, there's hope to find your sibling that died after you die yourself. That's great.
The funny thing is though, I'll bet you, I will bet I will bet you that a lot of the critics that disparaged this one for being downbeat praised Grave of the Fireflies for the same reason.
Well, yeah, because it gives a good message of trying to work together for society and showing you how if you try to be an individual and think for yourself, you're going to starve to death. And take your sibling with you. So therefore, you must obey Japanese society and work hard as a part of the whole.
I'm talking about the American critics, but anyway, this one does have a strong vibe of the importance of community and family and all that stuff. And like you just said, Fievel almost always has a support system. He almost always has someone looking out for him. So even when he does stupid kid stuff, someone's there. Oh, and we should also mention at the end when they're finally reunited, they give him the hat back and now it fits. So there's like this symbolic. He's grown up. He's more mature, So, did anyone else have any particular commentary on the production?
Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
And I will say again that we did have a cat that reminded me of Tiger. So that's another reason I've always had this sort of, nostalgia for this, But so music. We've touched on the music. Again, we do have 4 main original songs for this film. There's There Are No Cats in America. We have Never Say Never Again, Somewhere Out There, and a duo. A duo is a duet between Philip Glaser and Dom DeLuise. Somewhere Out There is a duet between Philip Glaser and Betsy Cathcart. Apparently, Tanya was the one person they needed to dub someone else in for the voice for whatever reason. Never Say Never is Christopher Plummer with help from Philip Glaser. And There Are No Cats in America is basically Nehemiah Persoff, Johnny Guarnieri, Warren Hayes, and the chorus. And they're all written by Cynthia Weil with music by James Horner and Barry Mann. There is also a song that plays at one point from the Pirates of Penzance, which apparently Linda Ronstadt was well known for a run on that show. Dave already mentioned Beautiful Dreamer is apparently the theme that we hear repeatedly, which is a lovely theme. It's very, very nice. The father plays it on the violin, very plaintive and what have you. Did anyone have any particular notes on the music that we have not already covered?
No.
No.
I think a lot of the music has been covered over the stretch of covering the film. So
And we've talked about Nowhere Out There hit number 2, almost winning the Oscar, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're pretty good on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we are ready to discuss favorites. And we will say, what is your favorite character, your favorite scene or line or moment or what have you? And I think this is in keeping with the theme for the month, more or less. What is a movie that we have not yet covered that you are very, very deeply nostalgic for and you really hope we'll cover it one day because it's a big part of your childhood? Yeah, we'll do that. And let's start with you, Dave.
okay. Favorite character is in between Feifel and Tiger. I mean, I know we don't get Tiger until like halfway through the movie or whatever, but he's still a fun character. But Feifel is cute in all the cute, sensitive ways that a kid can be. Especially one who kind of is literally left to fend for himself on his own. I mean, that right there alone is a reason why you should factor in Feifel being the favorite character because he does a lot of growing, But that being said, favorite scenes, I think There Are No Cats in America is definitely a favorite scene. I think when he tells the lady the master plan is a favorite scene. and I think when he goes and lets the mouse of minx loose is a favorite scene, but I also like the song Somewhere Out There. So
Mhm.
it's kind of there's a lot of like little scenes, that I want to mention, but I want to let other people decide for themselves what they might like. So
Mhm. All right.
that's where I stand on those things. And you said a movie that I might be nostalgic for that we may not have covered.
Right.
Oh God, we
Yeah.
covered a lot of my nostalgic ones. Mage. We've covered a lot of my major ones. Let's just put it that way. Brandon, have we covered Little Monsters?
Let me see. I don't think we have, but let me just we'll check. We have not.
Okay, that's one that I was real nostalgic with.
Hmm.
That I don't think we covered, and it had a lot to do with my that and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Did we not cover that?
We have not.
I could have sworn we did, but
Nope.
maybe not. I know I've seen it in the last few years.
I've seen it though. I've
Which
seen
one?
it far more recently than this one.
Yeah.
We covered it on our channel, the Love Bug.
Maybe, yeah.
No, not on none on this channel. We have not.
Okay.
We did
Okay.
some of the South at the end.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think we did. Okay. Sorry, I was talking with Tammy. She was trying to come up with films for herself.
Well, if you are you done? Shall we hand it over to her?
Sure.
Okay. Tammy, how about your?
My favorite character is Tiger.
Okay.
My favorite scene is I like what was it the secret weapon. I like when the secret weapon came out and the cats are running and the fireworks are going off.
And Honest John is going haywire with trying to batten down the hatches, but then suddenly realizing he has to let the darn thing go.
I'm talking about when it was going, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, when it first busts out through that door, that is a memorable moment.
yeah, that was awesome. David said he doesn't think we did Herbie Goes Bananas
Okay.
The Herbie
or
movies.
Herbie or any of the Herbie movies.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not any of them. Not a love bug or any.
Yeah.
No love bugs to be seen.
Because I think we did other ones that my Nana that was special that my great grandma, my Nana, took me to and stuff. So
And y'all have watched a lot of things on Delusions that we haven't touched on this channel.
but yeah, Herbie was a big thing with my Nana, my great grandma and I. She really liked Herbie. She thought those were fun. So
Okay. All right. How about you, Brandon?
Well, my favorite character is probably the cockroach accountant. I just like the electric stuff
He's
going on
cute.
between the antennas. My favorite scene is the Somewhere Out There scene. It's just such a iconic scene. I think it was well done, well placed. It reminds me a lot of that same scene in Home Alone. I want to say it was Home Alone 2, maybe, where they're looking off and they sing a song in the background where you've got him looking up and the star and then the mother looking out at the same time. I just thought that was very so it kind of reminds me of that. Um, as far as a film that's nostalgic that we haven't covered yet, we've covered a lot of my nostalgia pieces. I mean, we haven't covered The Great Outdoors yet, which is a huge nostalgia
We didn't?
bomb for me. I don't think we have. No.
I could swear we did.
Let me see. Let me see.
I know I've seen that one in the
Okay,
last.
now we have covered Great Outdoors.
Okay.
But one I know that we haven't covered that is a big nostalgia piece to me. And I know it's more nostalgia for me because a lot of people say that they think this film is kind of a crappy film, which is one of Gene Wilder's directorial debuts with Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother.
That was a fun one.
I haven't seen that one.
Which one?
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother. It's got a lot of the people here. But you got Gene Wilder as the star. You've got but you got Madeline Kahn. You've got Dom DeLuise. You've got Marty Feldman. A lot of amazing cast members.
A lot of the Mel Brooks mainstay from that era.
Yeah, it plays like a Mel Brooks film,
Yeah.
but you can tell. But there's a lot of mainstays from Mel Brooks in that film, so it works very well in that method. So that's one that has a lot of nostalgia. Another good one that was nostalgia for me, just to put another one out there, is The Golden Child. That one just recently got a big release. I want to say
I think I've seen that one.
That was a Eddie Murphy film, and that was a very good one too.
Yeah.
Actually, have we done See No Evil, Hear No Evil?
I don't think we have.
Because
that was the first prior Wilder film that I saw, and I definitely have some nostalgia for that one too.
That's a big
No.
one. Actually,
We
no,
have
we
not.
have covered it. We have covered See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Okay.
We have?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Gosh.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
That was Gene Wilder and
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
And a pre-fame and pre-controversy Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, well, he was a bad guy in it, so.
Yeah, he was.
All right. Well,
Okay. Well, all right. So for me, I'm not going to dare to be different the way Brandon was. Tiger was always my favorite. I think he's a great. He's great. There are some good characters, and if I had to pick a second, I'd probably pick Tanya because she's a little more mature than Fievel, and she also always kept the faith, and that was really pretty cool. Henri is a fun character as well, but I'm going to go with and Papa Moskowitz, but I'm going to go with Tiger. Favorite scenes, the Somewhere Out There scene is iconic. I'm not going to put two ways about it. That is a iconic sequence. The No Cats in America sequence is brilliantly executed. I absolutely love it. Even though, again, I have some issues with the lyrics, it's a good one. And then, like I said, there are just little moments in the movie. The movie does have its flaws. There are parts that could have been done a little better, but there are parts that were really, really well done. The reveal of that Warren is actually a cat was well done, and I don't remember my exact reaction the first time I saw that, but I remember that it left an impression. You know what I mean?
David spoiled it. He told me before it even happened that
Dave?
that's a cat.
So
Sorry.
the other one that I think I'm going to say, like I said, there's little moments, and one that I would not have noticed or paid attention to as a kid that I thought was hilarious this time around was when Honest John writes the name of the dead mouse down on his ghost voters list. I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, Honest John the politician is again something I get now that I didn't really get as a kid, and I find him kind of more musing, not in a good way necessarily, but But anyway, so yeah, I guess that'll do it for that. As far as nostalgia, we did cover the Karate Kid, right?
No, I don't think so.
Nope, haven't covered the Karate Kid.
Really? And have we covered Top Gun?
I think we have covered Top Gun. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Let me see.
I know you said you'd never seen Top Gun until I showed it to you.
No, I've seen it. I still don't get it, but maybe it's maybe that's one that requires nostalgia.
Honestly, the new one is better than the original, but it does have immense nostalgia. Partly because that soundtrack was full of bangers. It was on the Don Bluth thing. We have not done Land Before Time on the channel, I believe.
That we have not done. No.
So that is an immensely nostalgic film for me.
Well, I also did not have Land Before Time, the original, in my collection.
I'm still waiting to upgrade it to Blu-ray.
I have the entire collection of Land Before Time.
Well, you don't need most of them, but and then to harken back to what Brandon was just talking about, I'm mostly sure we've never watched this one. But a Richard Pryor film that I always really loved, that was very nostalgic for me, was Brewster's Millions. We haven't done that one on the channel, right?
That we have.
We did?
I think.
Let me look. I've got my little thing. We have not on this one.
Oh,
I was going to say, I know we haven't watched my copy.
Maybe on the other one, but not on this one.
Okay. But yeah, those are all.
I swear to God, we did it.
Because it goes right from Brides of Dracula to Boy Omega. So no Brewster's Millions.
And there's any number of Disney films we have not done yet that would qualify. I mean, The Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, pretty sure we haven't done Aladdin yet. Or actually, I'm pretty sure we've done very few Disney films. So,
we haven't done a ton of Disney animated.
Yeah. I know we did The Lion King. And I know... yeah.
I thought we did The Black Cauldron, but apparently we have not.
No, I think we did.
Nope. We done Black Swan, done Black Sheep.
I could swear we did Black Cauldron.
Blues Brothers.
Oh, we talked about it.
We've talked about the idea of doing the Black Cauldron.
I could have sworn we did. Well, okay. Well, I don't have nostalgia for that one, but But anyway, there we go. That is An American Tale, a movie that is still a solid film. And one that I really think a lot of people should go back and revisit right about now. Really do. But anyway, I guess we've got one more left in this month, right? So I'll hand it back to you, Dave, and I think it's your introduction for that one.
Why is it so cute?
Dave?
Damn. Okay, it looks like we have indeed. I just did not record it, but we have covered Black Cauldron, but we have not covered Brewster's Millions.
Stop.
Okay.
He's saying stop.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yes.
Okay, sorry. All right. Hopefully, you, ladies and gentlemen, have enjoyed our discussion on this film. If you have not, definitely take your furry little hides and go find the movie. I ended up buying my copy on Amazon, so it's fairly easy to still get.
I'm pretty sure I ordered it off of a Groove sale about a month or 2 months ago. That one in Fievel Goes West.
I mean, the Blu-ray is under $10.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure the 2-pack is only available on DVD, right?
Correct.
Same thing with the 4-pack.
Yeah.
Correct.
I keep forgetting there were 2 more.
Yep. Which I haven't seen either, but I remember seeing both of those show up in Blockbuster when Blockbuster was still around. So they at least came direct to video during the Blockbuster era. So, but in any case, they're out there, fairly easy to find. May not be streaming, but
right.
you can definitely see it, and then you can come back and listen to our discussion, and then let us know what you thought of the discussion, the movie, and just if you do, you do. You don't, you don't. But next week, I believe it is my choice. I chose a movie that we talked about, and then I realized I had not seen this movie, and it's a movie from the '80s. So I figured it would go with the flow of and it kind of does because didn't we find out that it went year after year in order?
More or less.
Going back in time steadily.
Oh yeah. So I guess we'll be going backwards one more year.
A couple of years. We're skipping to 1982, I believe.
Going back in time. No, but in any case, so next week we'll be doing Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I ended up upgrading my because it turns out I actually found out that I do have a copy of it. I just never watched it. And I didn't realize that I had a copy until I actually like looked. But I upgraded to the Criterion version, so this will be interesting. So
yeah, I need to crack open my Criterion copy too. I look forward to that.
And I ended up upgrading my Dazed and Confused at the same time. So,
Dazed and Confused is a really cool Criterion.
You know, dang it, Dave! You put that in my brain now. I might have to watch those two together. I think I have a used Criterion copy of Dazed and Confused, so that's all the more reason to watch it. Yeah,
but definitely next week it'll be us three since Brandon will be on vacation. So hopefully you get a chance to catch our stream on that and join us. So everyone, say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone, and never say never again.